A rural county in southwestern Georgia has emerged as an unlikely virus hotspot, with almost 1 in 4 of the state's 5,000 confirmed cases. State health officials believe it may have started at 2 funerals in the city of Albany. CNN's Diane Gallagher reports.
Emel Murray has endured a lot of pain over the past 30 days. Back on February 29th, hundreds of family and friends came to the small Georgia city of Albany to say goodbye to Andrew Mitchell, the man that she loved for the past 20 years. After several hours of crying and hugging each other, Murray started feeling sick.
That night, my mother went to bed. She had a fever. We didn't even know it at the time.
The 75-year-old was presumably one of the first in Albany to be exposed to the coronavirus. She was hospitalized, but not immediately tested. Other members of their family, their friends who attended the funeral, began to get sick too. And since then, several have died.
I knew things that were living in the last days. I knew things were going to be bad, but until it hits you, you know, that's when you're really just like, wow, it's here and it's now.
A positive test on March 10th from a visitor who attended the funeral tipped the Phoebe Putney health system off. At least 20 of the first patients to be diagnosed with coronavirus in Albany had attended one of 2 funerals in town. A second trip to the hospital confirmed Murray was one of them. From there, the cases jumped.
2 the first day, it was 6 the next day, it was 8 the next day, and it just began to cascade from that point.
So far, more than 5,400 people have been infected with the virus in Georgia. More than 175 have died, nearly a quarter of those from the Albany area. As the virus rips through their rural community, for so many here, it's overwhelming.
With us being a small city, we're not New York, but we are still impacted. And when you look at the percentages of our population that's impacted, I mean, that's still a significant number.
Scott Steiner, the CEO of Phoebe Putney Health Systems, which serves Southwest Georgia, says they blew through 6 months' worth of personal protective equipment in just 1 week.
We've got 4,500 warriors. That's what these people, they're flat out warriors that do this day in and day out. They put themselves at risk. They run into the fire when other people might run away from it.
Some of the hospital's office workers have now traded their computers for sewing machines, making mask covers, an attempt to extend the use of PPEs. But even still, Steiner says they only have enough right now for less than 2 weeks.
We have seen that curve go up. We have not seen it bend over yet.
The governor deployed the National Guard to set up additional intensive care units.
We have shipped necessary supplies and planned more shipments based on the needs of Phoebe Putney's system in the future.
As for Murray, she's back home now, but her daughter says, like many in this family and small community, the road to recovery will be long.
It's hard watching her suffer.
The statewide stay-at-home order in Georgia goes into effect on Friday, but they've been dealing with the effects of this virus for weeks now here in Albany. I asked the hospital CEO if he thought that they had turned a corner, if things were starting to get better. He simply took a deep breath, looked down, and told me no. They've likely not seen the worst of it just yet. Diane Gallagher, CNN, Albany, Georgia.
And to find out what you can do to help during this global crisis, please go to cnn.com/impact. When we come back, we'll head to England.